Hello, my name is Mary Dunne and I'm Director of Resilio, which is a voluntary organisation that was set up to teach hope and resilience. And we're delighted to actually be part of this project. This is the start of the journey, and what I'm hoping to cover with you over the next 20 minutes or so is just to give you an introduction to taking care of our mental health and well-being during these challenging times. And hopefully at the end of it, that you'll have an opportunity to think about joining us on a Zoom where we will take you through all the skills that you need to grow hope with yourself and your family. So I'm going to start off this morning and I'm just going to invite you to ask yourself just a question. And it's a lovely wee saying. It says, have you ever felt that you're living in pieces instead of peace? And if you look at how we've been over the last year with the pandemic, we've all struggled. And I think it's the most important thing to say is we're all in this together. We may be in a different boat, but many of us have felt the pain, the anxiety, and the worry, even of just going through the last year. So I hope now to share with you just a couple of little practical things that you can begin your journey of growing hope for yourself and your family. So, are we ready? I want to first of all shout out to everyone who's trying right now. And I know you're trying right now to get through every single day. But I want to just read this to you. Trying to do the right thing, trying to stay open, trying to keep going, trying to hold on, trying to let go. Because for some of us, it may be a great time just to let go all the things that are weighing us down. Trying to find the flow, trying maybe to stay afloat, trying to find the balance, or trying to find themselves. I see you. I'm there too. We're here in it together. So I want to just say well done to you all. Because if you take a look at the last year and just ask yourself the question, what has got you through? What has got your family through? And I'm sure you've played a big part in that. I want to share a little bit on resilience now, because the road to resilience is a personal journey. And I don't know any of your stories, but I know every human being has a story and every human being has a journey. And that journey has ups and downs, it's sadness, loss, it's pain. There's so much in that journey. But I just want to start the journey with acknowledging that. But resilience is about the ability to bounce. It's the ability to bounce back from setbacks. It's the ability to overcome and get through. But it's even more than just bouncing back. It's the ability to learn and to share that learning with others. And we teach hope in our program. And if you look at what hope is, oxygen is to the body, hope is to the mind. And if you were to start your journey today and I was to say I was taking oxygen out of the very room that you're in now, over a period of time you would start to become very sluggish and even feel unwell. And eventually we wouldn't survive. And it's exactly the same with hope. If I was to take hope away slowly our mental health, everything will actually fall apart. So that's why we say it's worth investing in growing hope. And that's what we hope to do with you as individuals and as a group, if you trust us to allow us to take you on that journey. But in order to succeed, we must first believe in ourselves. And if you do nothing else from just this session, is to just to acknowledge the journey you've been on and just acknowledge how far you've come and just acknowledge your own strengths, because we're not very good at saying how strong we are, because often we come from a place of vulnerability and sometimes we get stuck there. So if you can imagine just for a moment, if I was to invite you and maybe if you have a pen at hand and just maybe jot down one or two things for yourself. If I was to ask you, what is your strength? What has got you through your life, your journey, your experiences? If you were to name one thing, what would it be? And if you were to just ponder over a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you, I want to ask you is, if I was to say, what are your personal gifts and talents? What would you say they are? How have you made a real difference in the life of somebody else? What would they say about you? How do you bring the energy out of yourself every day? What gets you up? What gets you going every day in your life? What are you passionate about? And again, just think about what you're passionate about is something that you get lost in, something that you do that you forget about time, you forget about everything, and you're just in the presence with it with a great sense of enjoyment. How would you describe your best friend? Because remember, when we describe our best friend, it's often the things that we have in ourselves that we notice in other people. What would your best friend say about you? So if you wanted to pause this now and just ponder over those questions, feel free to do so. Or if you want to just wait until the end and then just rewind back and go back and forwards. This little video clip is for you to work through at your own pace, and you're in no hurry with it either. But the natural strength is universal, and believe me, it's inside in you. But I always say, the most powerful thing that we can do is to learn to explore our emotions, because our emotions can actually erode away our hope and our well-being and our self-esteem. And we have massive big emotions every day. And if you have to take the last year, how many emotions have you experienced? Some have been sad, some with joy, anger, fear, frustration, worry. Maybe acceptance, maybe joy is in there as well. Because emotions are all mixtures and they're very powerful. But every emotion tells us a story, tells us a story about our journey. But our emotions, as I said, can erode away our hope and our resilience. So if you were just today, just to think about your emotions and ask yourself, how do I turn up? How do I express my emotions? What are they like? And if I was just to begin the journey of naming them, just name my emotion. What am I feeling right now? If I was to claim it, in other words, what is it I'm responsible for? If nobody can make you do anything, only you have what we say, the control over. So nobody can make you angry, nobody can make you sad. That's choices that we make. But when we come from a place of vulnerability, we can often fall into that sadness without even realizing we're there. So I just want you to think about it for yourself today as you begin to grow hope. And when we do the workshops, we'll unravel this a little bit more for you. But I want you just to name them today, claim them, and just begin the journey of taming the emotion. How could I calm myself down? But remember, nobody in this world has ever calmed down, has been told to calm down. So if you're telling yourself every day, just calm down, it'll be okay. Maybe we need to know a new language. And when we teach hope, we teach a whole new language that you can learn to talk to yourself with care and compassion, but also talk to others, particularly our children, our families. And we come from a really place of acceptance and of peace. So that's what we teach in the Hope for Minds program. And I just want to share with you just a little bit about the stories we tell ourselves. Did you know that 40% of the time we worry about things that never happen? 30% of the time we worry about the past. 12% are the affairs of others, which is often none of our business. 10% relates to sickness. Not sickness, whether it's real or perceived. We should never take that away from ourselves because it can be real or it can be perceived. And if we're feeling vulnerable, can you see our mental health? And that just leaves 8% of the time that we worry. Only 8%. So ask yourself just to revisit what your worry has been like. I want to just introduce you now just to a simple strategy to go forward with until you join us on a great interactive session which we will do and can be done via Zoom. Maybe when restrictions come that we will be able to do face to face, which we as a team would love to be able to do with you and actually enable you to grow hope if you would trust us to come and join you. The 4 C's of resilience. The first one is courage. You already have courage. I want you to acknowledge that today, the courage you have because of your life experiences, your journey. Just want you to acknowledge the courage that you've had. But ask yourself, you know, how can I keep my courage even through these difficult, challenging times that I'm facing at the moment? Confidence. What resources can I draw on? What have you already got? Because confidence is about the ability to show up. My goodness, you are showing up every day. Every day in your life, you're showing up. Even though you may have experienced some really challenging stuff, you still turn up every day. That to me says confidence. What about creativity? And creativity is so powerful because creativity is about creating the new you. Now that we're coming out of COVID, what is the new you going to look like? What would you like it to be like? What would you like life to be like? So when we go on the Hopeful Minds journey, you'll get an opportunity to explore that. And it's done in a very safe space. And you don't have to share anything personal, but there's great learning when we come together. And the final one is connections. You know, they say at the moment that if we hang out with people with COVID, we're going to get it. The same as if we hang out with people with the flu, we're going to get the flu. So ask yourselves, who are you connected to? Have I strong connections? And maybe this is time now to create new strong connections. Somebody that builds you up, somebody that accepts you for you, somebody that acknowledges your strengths and is acceptance of vulnerability and is there to help you to grow. These are all choices that we can make going forward to grow our hope. Because what we have found is hope is a teachable subject. And we're here now to begin a journey of teaching that to individuals, to adults, so that we can actually make hope the most powerful thing going forward. Because we all need it. Remember, oxygen is to the body, hope is to the mind. So I hope I've given you a little piece today of just what it's about taking care of yourself. And as you go forward, that you'll join us on our Hopeful Minds journey and that we become, and as I say, even join our Hope family because it's grown and it's a powerful family of people that want to make a difference. Thank you for listening to me and I wish you well.